made those, or people who have those aspirations like yourself, to make those films, but choose something that is very personal to you, that perhaps only you are able to make in a way, an insight that you have, or access that you have to a situation which is difficult perhaps for other people to achieve.
I was just wondering if there is going to be an actual physical copy of the film that we could have, so not only everyone can see it in the world now, but future generations can see it and available to see it, because that would be great.
Yes, we haven't got around to that yet, but yes, there should be. It'll, I mean, in addition, in terms of, I mean, we should do that, but in terms of future generations, I like the idea of being on YouTube forever. But yeah.
What impact do you reckon it would have on the next generation, so like my children and me and my budgie, and the film's just about to have babies, so I can see it. Yeah. He's the one that's asleep.
I recognise you from being asleep.
Yeah.
Is the budgie under your beret?
You want to show it to the budgie, that's why you want DVD.
So it's very beautifully shot, by the way, that.
I'm actually an aspiring director as well, so.
Very nice. Was it a 5D Canon, something like that?
It was a Nikon D3 100, but I've got a 4D now, so.
Well, that was very nice.
I think it'll have. I think people will be completely find it jaw dropping, because I find it amazing. I find it incredibly illuminating to watch it now, and I guess I'm mad about things like 7up, and when you come back, things change so quickly that
the phone footage would be seen as so vintage.
That's right.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
First of all, many congratulations. I think it was brilliant. I love the timeline from wee small hours back to wee small hours. I love lots of the juxtapositions, and I think it's an absolute triumph. Well done. But what I want to ask is, do you think it was particularly British, or do you think, had it not been called Britain in a Day, do you think it could have been shot in France, Italy, Greece? Do you think if you did the same project, you would end up with sort of possibly the same film, or is Britain in a Day peculiar to Britain?
I hope it's peculiar to Britain, and I think that you could clearly make this film in any country around the world, but I imagine that you would make a very different film in each country, and that's perhaps what's one of the things that's interesting about it. And I believe Scott Free are going to be making other films in other countries, like doing Japan in a Day currently, and possibly a few more. And but Japan in a Day, I know that they're filming that, they've already filmed that on the anniversary of the tsunami. So that would be a film that I imagine that event will have a significant prominence in the film. So you can imagine that each film is going to, in some way, capture the culture. And I hope that this film does that, but in terms of our British culture, but captures it in all of its eclectic, and wonderful and eccentric and endearing form. And again, I think for me, there's a sort of familiarity in what I'm seeing, which represents us in a way. It feels familiar to me. Everybody in the film feels like people I know, or I've met, or my family, or my friends, and there's something about that which feels that hopefully that it captures an identity, if you like. It captures our identity to a certain extent, as much as maybe a film can. And I'm sure for some people maybe it doesn't feel like it represents them, but to me, I genuinely hope that it does represent us.
We've got time for a couple more questions.
When I was reviewing my footage to send to you, I didn't realise I'd spoken so much, and quite a bit was confessional.
And you had a couple of cameras on the go as well,
yeah,
I seem to
I got very great. But I thought...
A two-camera shoot, I was quite impressed. On your doorstep as well.
I panicked.
I was grateful for it, although we didn't use both cameras.
No.
But
I wondered, it was confessional. I just gobbled any of the garbage that came out of my mouth. When I reviewed it, I thought, do I really want people to hear this? Because it was basically like me dying, And but did you have anybody refuse after they sent you the footage? Did people say, no, thank you, too good one?
well, what did who did. Well, there was a man getting in a shower naked who'd shot it from a perhaps unflattering angle. That decided that it maybe wasn't the best idea to send that in to us. But that never made it in the first. Well, it never made it beyond the sort of rough cut stage. And I think there were a couple of question marks over clips. But I think the fact that people had obviously thought about it in advance, filmed it on the day, had a bit of time after that to think about whether they were going to send it in or not. They had to tick lots of boxes, sign forms, and go through the process of uploading, which was sometimes a bit arduous, as I understand it. So there were sort of plenty, I suppose, of stages along the way where people could have decided against sending their footage to us, and thankfully, well, I won't know the people who decided not to, but thankfully lots of people did, and thankfully you did as well. But I suppose if somebody had really objected for whatever reason to the footage being included, that would be something that I would have to consider, because in a normal film that I would make, which when I film with people, myself, if there are any, we tend to show people the film before it goes out, and if there are any major objections, we try to sort those out. So I would hope that would apply to this, but it's on such a big scale, it's quite hard to do that. As in, you can't show the film to everybody in advance and all of that sort of thing. But no, we didn't get many people saying, please, can you not include that? I've changed my mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One last question.
Hey, once again, obviously it was brilliant. Really, really loved it and everything. And I was just thinking, like, literally everyone that you've talked to here, you've mentioned you've recognised them,
including you.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And your teenage friend who isn't here.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just my dad. And,
unfortunately. He doesn't need it.
No, I wanted you in. Anyway, sorry. And basically, what I thought was just, how close did you get to each clip? Because you say you watched them for so long.
Yes.
And you must have seen God knows how much footage that didn't make it in the final cut, like him going to the supermarket and everything. And I was just thinking, did you really feel that during it, a real connection with the people in the clip? How close did you get to it?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think it was a privilege to have that insight and to share those, and for people to share those moments with me. And there are lots of people as well that I recognise in the audience whose footage that I watched quite a lot of, like you two up there. Yes, you two. And we only used obviously a very small shot, spraying your armpits, and
my favourite shot.
But because I watched all of your footage, I listened